What's good, people? It is Tony the Savant. And Lamar Jackson, he's doing it again, man. He is doing it again. I said it in my NFL prediction for this season that Lamar Jackson will probably score 100 touchdowns rushing, 200 touchdowns passing, probably pass for 10,000 yards, rush for 70,000 yards. But I'm not going to be impressed with anything Lamar Jackson does that's not an NFL Super Bowl because I've seen this movie from him so many times. We know Lamar Jackson is a phenomenal football player, not just a quarterback. This dude is a football player. And the only thing missing on his resume as of now is a Super Bowl championship, respectfully. So he can continue to put up the numbers, but I need to see trophies. And ladies and gentlemen, this is Tony the Savant. Before we get started, please like the video, share the video, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content and going live on the channel as well. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel as I drop content daily, go live daily, stay busy on the platform. And last but not least, please leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section, as I'm always intrigued to hear what you all have to say about these topics. And ladies and sports fans and gentlemen, yes, I said what I said, and I'm standing on it. Because Lamar Jackson is one of my favorite players, man. He's one of my favorite players that I love to watch season in, season out. Had Lamar Jackson as my quarterback on fantasy football. It paid great dividends. I know that this dude is an A++ player, but he's beginning to I say he's already kind of in this weird space that Peyton Manning used to be in. If y'all recall, and this is when I was a youngin, I was still learning and understanding the game of football. But in my early years of watching the NFL, it was an exact parallel to what Lamar Jackson is doing and to what Peyton Manning was doing in his prime years with the Indianapolis Colts. And what Tom Brady is doing, what was doing, and what Patrick Mahomes is doing is a weird parallel between those two, because the same way Tom Brady used to win championships, it felt like year in and year out. That's what Patrick Mahomes is doing now. You know what I mean? They both had seasons where they put up prolific numbers. Both made history in their own regards. But what we know Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes for, respectfully, is championships, championship football, championship cultures. Literally taking coaches that hadn't won anything was very renowned, respectfully, and Bill Belichick and Andy Reid, prior to them linking up with Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, were very renowned coaches, but hadn't won anything until they got their guy, per se. And what's going on between the parallel I'm seeing between Lamar Jackson and Peyton Manning is the exact same. Peyton Manning used to have these 5 touchdown games. Just year in, year out, Peyton Manning was arguably the best football player, not just quarterback. The man's IQ was always on 2,000, you know what I mean? And so it was always weird to me when I was coming up as to why Peyton Manning hadn't won more championships. Now, he did get him a championship in 2006, but I think Peyton Manning was drafted in 1999, if I'm not mistaken. I think, he had been around for a mighty long time before he ended up winning a championship, but the numbers was there. Of course, the talent was there, the IQ was there, and that's what I'm seeing with Peyton Manning. Even the MVPs. Even the MVPs. Peyton Manning was not no scrub. He, like I said, was one of the best football players I've ever seen play the game. And so that's what I'm seeing with Lamar Jackson as well, man. As the Baltimore Ravens played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Monday Night Football, and the score is closer than the actual game was, as the Baltimore Ravens were able to win 41-31. Lamar Jackson continued his tear in the NFC, as he is now like 24 or 25-1 in his career. Not just, a season or two. Now, in his career, NFC teams have barely beat this dude. And they went for the same last night, as he is now like 25-1, if I'm not mistaken, against NFC teams. And last night he looked great. The Bucks, of course, being an NFC team, and he just tore them to pieces. Uh, he ended the night with 17 of 22 completion. Excuse me, 17 of 22. Yeah, I'm sorry, I was looking at something else. 281 yards, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and only 2 sacks. Put up a perfect QB rating of 158.1. And and I hate to say this, man. I've seen this from Lamar Jackson in 2019. I've seen it from him in 2023 to end the season. How he absolutely tore up the San Francisco 49ers, the NFC favorite last year. Actually, the team that reached the Super Bowl, tore them to pieces. I think he had a 5 touchdown game against them as well. But it's just a matter of the fact that Lamar Jackson, when it's the lights are the brightest in those, AFC playoff rounds, AFC championship games, I think he reached one. But last season he lost to Patrick Mahomes. And caveat, this is the same thing that used to happen to Peyton Manning. It seemed like every year that he would be going off. Anytime he met up with Tom Brady in the playoffs, he got beat down, sent to the crib. So hopefully that's not what we see this year. And like I said, it's just been a daunting trend I've noticed with Lamar Jackson. And I truly believe this dude has the goods. I think he can get to the Super Bowl, not just get there, but also lead his team to the Super Bowl championship. Now, he does have some help with one King Henry. Derrick Henry finished the night with 15 carries, 169 nasty yards. Whew. The dude I was facing in fantasy football, man, he beat me by like 5. I think he ended with like 8 points, 8 or 9 points, because he had J.K. Dobbins playing last night too. So, but he beat me alone already with Derrick Henry. So, and that's because King Henry had himself a night. He had 2 big runs, one for 81 yards, and then he ripped another one off for like 20 something, I think 38 yards, somewhere around there. So, Derrick Henry there, I think that will help Lamar Jackson, get over the hump, barring health. Both of these brothers can stay healthy. They got the Baltimore Ravens looking like the only team you can count on year in, year out. Week in and week out, as far as production. As far as them being a little bit more consistent, because even the games that they lost a close game to the Chiefs and a close game to the Raiders. They could have easily won those games as well. Just looking around on here for the rest of these numbers, Lamar also rushed 9 times for 52 yards. He had a 17-yard was his longest rush. Did his thing there. On the receiving department, Rashawn Bateman, who I just put on my waivers, he ended the night with 4 receptions, 121 yards, and a touchdown score for him, as he's become Lamar Jackson's favorite target. It almost seems like, at least in the clutch, when Lamar is running around and needs a safety net. Rashad Bateman has been that. Mark Andrews, he has been a little absent all season long. I know at one point he had a fantasy football game where he had 0 points. But he's been rebounding these last 2 or 3 weeks or so, as he's had 3 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks for sure, and he had 2 touchdowns on Monday night against the Buccaneers. Also added 4 receptions, 41 yards to that as well. Justice Hill, I love this dude, man. He did good work for me last year. He didn't do too much rushing, but he did add 3 receptions for 44 yards and a touchdown score. See what the defense did. They ended the night with 3 sacks, 2 interceptions from Marlon Humphrey. I think Marlon Humphrey went down with an injury, so we'll be checking in on that, brother. He went down with an injury, and I don't think he returned, if I'm not mistaken. But 3 sacks to the Baltimore Ravens' prolific defense. Darius Washington got a sack. Kyle Van Noy ended up getting a sack. And who is this? Odafe Owe, I want to say his name is. Hopefully I'm not saying his name wrong. So that defense was there as well. On the other side, for the losing team, the Bucks, man, they lost Mike Evans and for sure lost Chris Godwin for the remainder of the season. Just 2 unfortunate injuries. Chris Godwin's injury was very gaudy. They couldn't even show the replay. So I ended up having to go look for the replay on Twitter, and it was a nasty one. Just like Aiden Hutchinson's injury last week was very nasty as well to see. But Baker Mayfield did all he could to try to keep this team in it. He ended the night with 31. He went 31 to 45, 370 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Rashawn White had 10 carries for 40 yards. Bucky Irvin, he been doing his thing, not so much on the ground, but a little bit more in the air, just being an all-purpose guy. Cade Otton, who I'm trying to pick up right now, a former Chicago Bear. I'm surprised I'm saying that as a Packers fan. He ended the night with 8 receptions and 100 exact yards. So these guys, Buccaneers, man, I'm hoping that they can maintain their momentum. They've been a fighting team all season long, so we'll be able to see how they rebound and work with the injuries. I think Baker Mayfield is one of those quarterbacks, man, that definitely can add, keep his team above water as long as he stay healthy. So, knocking on wood for the Bucks. But that's all I got for y'all on this one. Please like the video, share the video, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content and going live on the channel as well. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. As I drop content daily, go live daily, stay very busy on the platform. And last but not least, please leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section, as I'm always intrigued to hear what y'all got to say about these topics. I am Tony the Savant. Peace.